just such a cute image that we have to have a little closer look. Slow down. Here we go. So where that female is sitting at the moment is actually very, very shallow. She's probably got her knees tucked in, and that's why the baby is able to sort of play around there. So his feet are just touching, and that's why she's lying in that shallow water. We're not going to go any closer. We don't want to stress her out. She's obviously moved away from one of the dams. It's got a lot of hippos in it. Baby hippos, it is a bit bigger. They do that sometimes. It's not normal. Quite often they will just stay in the dam where there's a large group of them. But sometimes they do move away. Maybe it's a first-time mother. It's very difficult to say. Or maybe it's an experienced mother and knows that a big group of hippos is quite dangerous for a baby hippo. Oh, there he is. Very, very sweet.
Looking for any small interesting critters or things to talk about. I haven't come across anything yet. We've driven along Ingwe Alley, which is a little 2-track that has provided us with a lot of great leopard sightings over the last few months, but not today. But at least we tried it out, and it's a beautiful area that road takes you through. So I believe Brent started off with a great sighting of many different species of animals, so always good to get off the drive on a good note, and how lucky we are to have two of us switch between, because it really does help us show you a good time out here. With just one vehicle, it's certainly a lot more difficult to keep you entertained. It'll still work out well, and that's a grasshopper that it's managed to catch. That looks like a good sized meal for the lilac-breasted roller. Again, with the angle of the sunlight, it's going to be difficult for you to pick up the colors of the lilac-breasted roller, but Andrew is working his magic, so now you should be able to see a bit of the purple chest or lilac chest. And let's see how this lilac-breasted roller manages to feed on the grasshopper. At the moment, as you can see, it seems a little bit confused as to what to do. We'll probably try and position it head first and swallow head first as opposed to tail first, because it will slide down the throat easier if it does head first. It's a risky business sitting out on a big perch like that with a kill in its beak, because now any other bird that sees it could fly in and try and steal it. So, who knows, maybe this is a immature lilac-breasted roller, or potentially it's simply just had a very good day hunting and is too full to put another one in its mouth. But be ready for another bird to swoop in and try and steal that kill. It wouldn't surprise me. Well, a tasty grasshopper for afternoon tea. On this long thin branch, like a piece of spaghetti, and just take the bark off the leaves, but they really do pluck these and prune these and cause a problem for us. You can imagine when we're off-roading and you see that plant and you think it's just got really small thin branches, but it's actually got a really thick stump at the base of it, so that's something we need to look out for. And even here you can see the same thing, how the elephants keep breaking it down, but they keep popping up and growing from the bottom. And the elephants are going to start feeding on these round leaf teak in the coming weeks and months. It's not something they do year round, and that's something I find interesting about elephants, because they don't only feed on everything they see, they wait for a plant to be at its most suitable stage, or most effective stage, or nutritious stage rather, for them to feed on it before they do. Spiderweb blowing in the wind. And I guess these windy conditions don't make for ideal web repairing weather, and you can see there's quite a few large holes within that web. So some maintenance is required there. So this morning, after Brian and I left the hyena den site that became inactive, we headed off to another hyena den site just to double check what was going on there, to try and establish, like I said, we were chatting about this morning, what's going on with these hyena, who's in which clan, how old are the cubs, what's going on with the cubs in the clan. There's a little bit of unknown at the moment as to what exactly is up. So I headed off to the other hyena den site. It certainly does look active. We saw tracks going in and out of that den site, and you can see it's been recently lived in. So there could well still be hyena there, but this morning when we arrived there were none to be seen. So we might even just stop here, because if we move any further along, we're going to be looking back into the sunlight at them. There's one individual in the middle, Andrew, with a lot of oxpeckers on its back, standing up there. And interesting how they've all congregated on the maybe it's some kind of a conference that they need to have. Oh, there's a few more that have responses. They're not all on the one. And it's typical behavior for these old bulls to relax at waterholes during the heat of the day at this time of the year.
Good afternoon, Tom, and his son from the Netherlands. They would like to know, how long does a leopard live for in the wild? Well, Tom, it is very dependent. The females will normally live quite a lot longer than the males. The oldest leopard I know about in the Sabi Sands lived to 21 years old, and the oldest males were about 15. But a male leopard at about 15, 16 is really not in good shape. He's very, very tired, so to speak, and he's sort of being pushed out of the majority of his territories, and he's really, really hanging on to the peripheries and trying to avoid other male leopards. Dramatic. It can be used by just rubbing. It can also be used for ticks, as a repellent for ticks. Also, if you dry it and burn it on a fire, also as a mosquito repellent. There's quite a few different species that can be used as mosquito repellents, but as far as I know, this is one of the more effective. So it's a dwarf wild sage. You can also cook with it. It goes quite well with lamb. So guys, we haven't had any luck. I'm still very confident he hasn't moved too far from here. So what I think is we're gonna sit on this damn wall. Just listen for a little bit, just be quiet, see if maybe some other animals might give him away. And as you'll see shortly when Andrew pans across, Brian, when Brian pans across, there's quite a good incentive not to walk around too far with all these buffalo bulls in the area. So we're just going to sit quietly for a little bit, and hopefully something spots him and lets us know. Six buffalo bulls here at the moment, and there's one who's lost one of his horns, or half his horn. Still got the majority of his boss there. To me, looks like he's had a long, tough life.